Hey everybody, my name is Joe. Welcome to SNES's Life Recap number 57. Today we're covering, well, the games that you see there on the sidebar. So let's get started. First up, Super Battleship. Based off of, I guess, the board game technically. This is actually more of a turn-based strategy game where you get a fleet of ships, the goal being, of course, to sink the other player. You move tactically around on a grid. But then in the fights, you come into this screen here where you actually get to aim your cannon and shoot. And what is kind of neat is you can aim at specific parts of the ship. And so you can actually take out their guns, right? And then you can take out their engines so they can't move anymore. And then you can sink them. So there, he doesn't have guns, he doesn't have an engine, so he's a sitting duck. So now I'm just tossing torpedoes at him. The color was fine. The graphic presentation was okay. The sound left a bit to be desired. It was kind of... I don't think there was... Yeah, there was no music. The only music was when you won a mission, there was a fanfare as you showed your boat pulling into port. What was kind of neat is if you took damage, you could set repair crews to go fix things. It just wasn't that interesting to me. There is a version of classic Battleship on here, which is just like the top-down board game, but it doesn't play at all like the board game, any version of Battleship I've ever played in my life. Instead of an aircraft carrier, which is 5 hits, you get 2 ships with 4 hits, 2 ships with 3 hits, and then... Or no, I'm sorry, 1 ship with 3 hits. A ship with... So you get 2 4s, a 3, a 2, and a 1. You get a ship with a single hit, which makes it really, really hard to find. And then you get 3 shots at a time. But as the human player, you have to pick where they're going to go before it fires. And then the computer picks its shots, but it doesn't have to pick them all before they go, because when it hits your boat, it clearly just continues hitting your boat. There's no shooting around your boat. Once it finds you, you're dead, basically, which is kind of a pain in the nuts. I didn't enjoy it. In the end, this game got a thumbs down. It was interesting, it was neat, but it was not good. Next up, we got Super Tecmo Bowl, or Tecmo Super Bowl. I think I've brought this up in a stream before when me and Joe were playing football games, and I'm like, Tecmo Bowl is the best football game ever made. I got no arguments with that. It's just what it is. The graphics are colorful but simplistic. The sprites are basic for what they are. On the Super Nintendo, they got these nice character animations, which is pretty cool. The gameplay is basic. It's fun. It's horizontal, so there's no flipping the map around like in Madden. There's no verticality, so there's a very little bit of screen you can see. It's a big wide horizon, so you can see a ton of the field. It's football simplified, and there are stats behind everything that kind of dictate how well the teams do. But God, it's just fun. The game is good. Okay, if you're going to play any football game that's retro and old, play Tecmo Bowl. And it doesn't matter if it's Tecmo Bowl on the Super Nintendo, Super Tecmo Bowl, or I'm sorry, on the Nintendo, Super Tecmo Bowl for the Nintendo, or Tecmo Super Bowl for the Super Nintendo. They're all good. There's even a Tecmo Bowl for the Game Boy. It's also good. Tecmo Bowl, it's thumbs up all the way, 100%. Next up, we got Super Putty. Super Putty is an action platformer where you're a ball of putty. You can see me jumping around at the top of the screen there trying to do a platforming. So you're this ball, and you try to platform around. You're trying to save these little robots and get them up to that spaceship that's always at the top of the level. The problem with this game is that it's a platformer and a precision platform in a number of spaces. And I did not play it very far into the game. But there were a lot of very specific jumps you had to make into very small spaces, and your jump is not very controllable. Also, the enemies constantly respawn. It's like Castlevania levels of irritation, and they just knock you off it, and they take your health away, and it's not fun. The music was okay, the sound was all right, the gameplay, other than the difficulty, and the gameplay wasn't good. That's what sucked. The graphics were nice. I liked the colors. I had some hope for it because it kind of reminded me of another game where you were like a little ball. I think it was actually just called Super Ball or something like that. And that game was fun. This game is not. It is not the same. I think it might have tried to play off of that one. I don't know. Thumbs down. Don't play Super Putty. Next up is a video that is not loading for some reason. Tony Meola's Sidekick Soccer. I don't know why it freaked out. But we can fix that. Look at us live fixing right here, folks. Bam, there it is. Tony Meola's Sidekick Soccer. This was like Madden as far as like the field rotates around whoever the hell's got the damn ball. Good use of color. The sprites were not exceptional. They were pretty basic. What I liked about this game is how fast and fluid it moved. It was I couldn't find a manual, and it was very, very difficult to figure out what the menu screen was because instead of words, they used these symbols. And so I think without the manual, you'd be kind of stuck. Or you'd just be taking guesses. Like once you pick a match, it's easy to be like, oh, well, that's obviously a human versus a robot, so that must be me versus computer, or human versus human. And then you get a bunch of different countries you can pick from. I don't know who Tony Meola was, not a clue. Didn't bother to look it up, didn't care. The point is, I lost my butt off here. I think I played 3 games. 2 were scoreless. 1 I lost 1-0. I could never score. I got a lot of shots on goal, but just never got them in. The goalies are really good on the AI. But there is a 2-player option, and I think as a 2-player game, with how fast and fluid this moved, I think it could be a lot of fun. So I did give it a thumbs up. I think Joey and I would have enjoyed playing this together. I think if you have a second player to play this with, you probably like it, especially if you're a soccer fan. So Tony Meola Soccer does get a thumbs up, despite the difficulty of it, because it was hard for myself. And finally, we got Timeslip. Timeslip is a run and gun, almost like a Contra ripoff, right? The biggest difference, as you can see right there, I'm climbing, which you don't do a lot of climbing in Contra, and I'm also getting shot to hell. And I died. But I died on that side of the thing, so that's something. Graphics are not the most amazing. Decent color use. The sprites are okay. They're acceptable. They're not as highly detailed as Contra, the Alien Wars. In fact, nothing in this game is as highly detailed as Contra, the Alien Wars. But it's got a lot of similarities to it, which means it played pretty well. The music was okay. It was just like kind of generic rock synth. The sound otherwise, it's a run and gun, so you just hear your gun constantly, brrr, and the explosions of things exploding and dying. But you can see right here, I'm obviously cheating at this stage. Like, I think to like area 2 or 3 of stage 2. And at that point, the game threw so much stuff at me that it burned. Like I got to I think the boss of stage 2. I think is where I was. It was like this big dragon-headed snake thing, and I got to him with like 8 lives, and he burned through all 8 lives and ended the game. And there's no continue; it's start from the beginning. So I cheated after that. I was like, whatever. Then there's a cheat for infinite health and ammo. Which is what I'm doing here. You get the full spread shot. You only get like 4 levels of bullet. There's not different guns, just different levels of spread shot, and I've got the full spread shot here, I think. So yeah, the game's not bad. It was fairly enjoyable. I don't think it's as refined or as good as Contra. I think if you were going to ask me to pick a run and gun, I'd pick Contra first. But I don't think the game is worth ignoring. I think if you like run and guns, then this game might be right up your alley. And I gave it a thumbs up. I think it, even though I cheated later on, I enjoyed the playthrough. Even cheating, I enjoyed the playthrough. Like I think I played this for like an extra 15 minutes because I lost track of time because I was enjoying myself, chatting with the people watching and just playing it. It's a good game. So I suggest Timeslip was unexpectedly good. Worth a play. So that's it. Thumbs down Super Battleship, thumbs down Super Putty, but thumbs up on Tecmo Super Bowl, Tony Meola Soccer, and Timeslip. Worth checking out. Thanks for hanging out for recap number 57, guys. I appreciate y'all. Have a good one, and yeah, be back for number 58 soon enough. Peace.